I remember a few years back, I was in so much physical pain from playing volleyball that I could barely lift my arms above my head to wash my hair at night. I was crying myself to sleep. I had horrible acne, horrible digestion, a lot of colds, and always sick. All of these things that were going on in my physical body, and they were directly reduced by looking at what I'm going to share with you on this video. This will change everything for you if you are struggling from any of these things. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Kara Michelle and I'm here to help you live your truth. And this means living your best life, feeling your best, coming back to alignment with who you are. Our bodies are incredible. They are amazing. They know how to heal themselves. They know how to regulate. We don't think about breathing or doing anything that keeps us alive, digestion. All of these systems are going naturally and we don't even think about it and we're not even aware of it. That's how magical and miraculous our bodies are. But depending on what kind of foods we're eating and what kind of things and stresses we are causing for our body, we can really create a negative impact around the body's natural ability to heal itself and to keep itself healthy. So on today's video, I want to share about this because what was it? When I was 21, I went for a live blood analysis because I had spent years with all of these symptoms. Extreme anxiety, chronic pain and muscle aches. I played high-level sports all of my life, and when I was playing university volleyball, it was extreme. Like, I know a lot of people had injuries and had pain and stuff, but I had an abnormal amount of physical pain for what I was doing. I never felt like I was healing, and I could sleep for 10 to 12 hours a night and wake up in the morning and still feel tired. And like before lunch, I'd be like exhausted because my body was just so worn down. And I also had, what else? Poor digestion and low vibe and acne. Like, my skin was horrible growing up and was one of my biggest insecurities when I was younger and a teenager, and even in university I still always saw myself as the girl who had this horrible acne, and it was a really big mental and emotional thing to work through after that, in terms of finding confidence, but it was also something that like physically affected me, right? So what so many people are starting to wake up to realize is that the acidity in our body isn't healthy, and it's not helping us heal and do what we're supposed to, or like do what our bodies are normally able to do. So we look at the disease rates, the cancer rates, the anxiety rates, right? All of these things that are going up. Well, why are they going up so much? And then if we look at what people are putting in their body and the stresses that they're carrying that they don't know how to manage or release properly, well, there's a direct correlation. We look at the standard American diet, SAD. It is sad. This is not what people are supposed to be eating. So many of these foods are not actually beneficial for us. They don't have all the nutrients. They're genetically modified. They're processed, right? We look at fast food and different things like that, or canned soda and stuff that's just pure sugar, like a bottle of soda that's just halfway is all sugar. Like, when you look at those diagrams, it's crazy. So these things are not meant for our bodies, but we have naturally just believed that whatever we see around and advertised and marketed well is good for us, and or even if we don't think it's good for us, we still go for it. So when I was 21, I had this live blood analysis because I was having all these problems. I had been going to physio almost every day when I was playing volleyball. I was getting massages once a week. I was going to acupuncture. I was doing yoga and some stretching in the morning. I had a foam roller that I'd lay on every day and roll out. I was doing literally everything you could possibly do, and nothing was fixing it. And it got to the point where I was like, I struggled to just go for a walk without pain. And I was 21, and I just kind of remember having this moment of like, I want to be able to go for hikes. I want to be out in nature and not be physically so bogged down in pain, and something's got to give. This isn't working, and this doesn't seem normal for someone this young. And it was really a hard time for me, because that became part of the reason why I quit volleyball at that time, because it just was like, it wasn't enjoyable enough to be worth all the pain that I was going through, not to mention the anxiety and other things that came along with it. But physically, my body couldn't do it. So I went for this analysis, and what it was taking like a pinprick of your blood and looking at it on a microscope, and we could see the white blood cells, we could see everything going on in the blood, and it was fascinating. And I had this really powerful, honestly, it probably was a spiritual moment for me to see like white blood cells in my body. They were abnormally shaped, they were moving really slow, they were like sluggish, and there were all these crystals in my blood. And it sounded pretty because I love crystals. Like, oh, that's cool. But it was yeast crystals, which is also fueled by sugar. So this was something where I finally saw that my white blood cells were trying so hard to purify my blood so that I could be functioning, and they were so busy doing that they didn't have the time or energy or capacity to like heal my shoulders or heal my muscles. Nothing was recovering well. And then this is why I was so tired, because my body was working so hard day in and day out just to regulate things and try to get me back into a normal state of being. And it really, really clicked for me at that time that I needed to make a change, because I had tried all these external things and all of these basically band-aid fixes. I constantly was looking to mask the pain or find something that would help on the outside and the back end, but I wasn't looking at what was the root cause and what was causing me to have all these problems in the first place. I think about when I went to the doctor for years and years of like acne and horrible digestion, horrible anxiety, a lot of different things, that all these symptoms that I had for a long time. And instead of them saying, hey, what are you eating and what's your lifestyle look like? And like, we all just thought I was healthy because I was active, and but I wasn't eating healthy foods, and my body wasn't getting any of the nutrients it needed. So all these things like acne creams and like all these different things that were supposed to be solutions still weren't solving the problem. And this is part of why I'm so passionate about like looking at your life from a holistic lens, because we are looking at solving the root cause of the problem, not just masking it up with something here and try this and do that. It's like, no, let's solve it from the root source so that we can move forward and just feel better, mind, body, and soul, right? So after this analysis, we chatted and we really looked at, I had spent, there's the dog. She's doing that again. So I had spent 18 years not eating vegetables because I'm a stubborn Taurus. So no matter how hard my mom tried, I still wouldn't eat them. I remember I was like 16 when I had my first salad, and it was a Caesar salad. So it was just lettuce and croutons and creamy Caesar dressing, right? Not necessarily like the healthiest kind of salad. I remember when I was like 14, I think I had my first grapes at a friend's house. And like, it's funny to me, but it's really sad because these are the foods that are best for us. Now, I was obsessed with baked goods. I didn't really like sandwiches. I ate banana breads and muffins for lunch, and like sugary baked foods was what I lived off of. So if I look at it now, it's like, no wonder my skin was horrible, and no wonder my digestion was so bad and like inconsistent, because the foods I was eating were not actually that nutrient dense, and they weren't really helping fuel my body in any way. So when I started to look into this more after this analysis, I really started to dive into the pH balance of the body and the acidic versus alkaline argument, I guess. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but how important it is to have an alkaline body, because all of the things that I had been eating for years and years and years were highly acidic. Meat is very acidic. Wheat and gluten and stuff like that, that's not the best for your body. Sugar is like highly acidic and leads to more acid in the body. So all of these things, those were basically what I lived off of, was meat and carbs, dairy and sugar. Basically the anti-vegan diet for 21 years, which is why it was so funny when I went vegan, because it was like the other extreme. But I had all these problems for so long because of what I was eating. So when we look at your body and when we look at pH in general, we have a neutral pH, which is like around 7. And that's your neutral pH. That means there's balance. That means like things can operate at their normal level, right? And it's like that's what you aim for. And then the higher the number goes, the more alkaline it is. And the lower it goes, the more acidic it is. And I remember, I'll just share this one more quick story, but I remember doing one of those little like pH tests, like you pee on this paper and to test the pH, and it was so acidic. And this was before I started juicing and everything. So I had done this test and I was like, holy crap, like this is bad. And I had now already seen the proof in my blood and how hard my blood was working to stay healthy. So I had all these signs and I really felt like, you know what? I'm so tired of being in this much pain every single day. I'm so tired of all of these symptoms, and I would love to be able to feel what it would be like to be normal. Like I couldn't remember a time when I didn't have pain. So I went for it and I decided to start juicing, to start drinking green juices. I still ate meat and stuff at that time, but I really started to limit my sugar and my meats and my dairies and pay attention to how I felt after certain foods. And this is when everything changed, because like I said somewhere at the beginning of this video, our bodies know how to heal themselves. They know what is best for them. It's the mind, and it's the marketing, and it's the media, and it's the family and societal norms that have told us otherwise. But if you really tune into your body and listen, and you start to pay attention to what you're eating and how it makes you feel, you're going to notice that your body feels better when you eat healthier foods. And the more you start to make these shifts with your diet, the better you continue to feel, the easier it is because your taste buds start to change. So it all adds up. I went from being addicted to sugar, like highly, highly addicted to sugar, to not even craving it. You know, like now if I crave something sweet, I have some fruit or some dates, or I make a nice little vegan brownie or cookies or something, but like I make a healthier alternative and it still satisfies my sweet tooth, probably more than it did before. Because before I was mindlessly eating because it was like this craving from my body and from all the yeast and all the bacteria that wanted more things to fuel it and keep it alive, versus like my body craving what it needed to keep it alive. So you're having this internal battle between what are you feeding? Are you feeding disease or are you feeding health? And I think that's what's so powerful about this holistic approach and really tuning into your body and what feels best for you. Because if you keep a food journal or something like that, you're going to notice, okay, I ate these things today and I had a lot of anxiety. That's interesting. And then maybe you eat something different the next day and you go, you know what, there wasn't really any anxiety. So what's the difference here? What did I eat on the one day that I didn't eat the other day? What kind of things might be triggering stress in the body? Because anxiety is just a form of stress. So without going more into anxiety specifically, I just wanted to share how powerful the foods are that we eat. And when I then a few years later, after being vegetarian a little bit and then back to eating meat and then vegetarian again and then eating meat, I finally kind of went, you know what, for a lot of reasons, for the animals, the environment, and my health, I decided I am going to go vegan, and I've been vegan it's actually my 3-year vegan anniversary this weekend. I went vegan after Easter. And that is the best thing I've ever done for my health. And not everybody is different, but when you tune into your body and start listening to what feels best for you, and you start paying attention to the signs and the symptoms and looking at the correlation between things you're doing and how you feel, everything can change. So I do not regret. If anything, I regret not going vegan sooner. And if anything, I regret not quitting sugar sooner. Because had I quit sugar or had a better handle over my cravings and my sweet tooth years prior, I maybe wouldn't have so much physical pain and all of these other symptoms for so long, right? All of these things were creating more problems in my body. And mostly I'm just really grateful now that I'm so aware of it so that I can make the changes, because I've seen all of these things rapidly improve over the last 3 years. And over even when I started just being more aware of my pH balance and the acidity in my body, everything started to change. And now I take proactive steps every day so that I can keep my body as healthy as possible. I can feel as best as possible, and I can continue to move forward in a way that's going to keep me healthy for as long as I can, because I feel like I've already had enough pain and struggles physically that I'm going to do everything I can now to make sure that I'm healthy. So if you are finding this helpful so far, please give it a thumbs up. Please comment down below and hit the subscribe button. Please feel free to share with family or friends who are struggling with any of these symptoms, right? It's so important to share this message, because we do not have to be victims to our circumstance, and we do not have to continue to believe that fast food is okay and that the standard American diet is good for us. We can start to ask questions and really reconnect to ourselves and look at what feels best for us. Okay, so now that we've finished this, I want to take you upstairs with me. So let's see, this is a huge tripod. I have got my 8.5 here in my water bottle, which I feel so good drinking this, and I've only just started. So this is why I'm filming this video today, because this machine only came yesterday, but I want to share some different things that I've experienced, because like I said earlier, let's see if this can get a little bit better. Okay, there we go. Now it's not quite a tripod. So when I went vegan and when I quit sugar, those were two major things that impacted all of those old symptoms that I had, because the body became less acidic. When I was eating baked goods all day, every day, that is so acidic. That is sugar and yeast, and sugar just feeds more yeast cells. So it creates more of that, and that creates these cravings, right? When you feel like you really want some sugary goodness and your body is literally craving it, that is the yeast cells in your body. And obviously a certain level of yeast cells is normal and healthy, because we have it's like antibacterial and it's on a certain level it's necessary. But in terms of when you have those sugar cravings, or if you are a junk food addict like I was, then that is an unhealthy amount of yeast in the body that's creating those cravings, okay? So what we have here, when I went vegan, I decided to quit sugar at the same time, and I basically went like, is this camera sideways? My bad. It's like angled. Okay, when I went vegan, I basically quit sugar as well, and I said, okay, if I'm gonna make these changes for my health and see how I feel by making these shifts, then I gotta go all in, basically. And when I first started experimenting with the pH in my body and incorporating more greens and green juices and smoothies, and I really noticed such a breath of fresh air and such an increase in my energy. And physically, it felt like this is so weird, but I'm really connected to my body, so maybe it's not that weird. When I had my first green juice after I went for my blood analysis and saw everything that was going on in my body because of all the yeast and the sugar and the extreme acidity, and my body working so hard to try to bring itself back into homeostasis and its normal state so it could heal and function and do all of its normal things. When I had this first green juice, like the first sip, I felt like all of the cells in my bodies, all of the cells in my bodies, all of the cells in my body had just taken a breath of fresh air. It was like, that is what it felt like times a billion or a trillion. Like just every part of my body just went like, like it felt so good. And this was shocking for me because I was someone who hated fruits and vegetables and had lived my whole 21 years at that time, I think, without really eating vegetables. So my body desperately needed it, and it was obvious, right? And I could see differences physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, everything. So what I've got here now, I'm still vegan, I'm still sugar-free, except for an occasional little treat here and there if I feel so inclined. But now my body has, because I've detoxed sugar and I've detoxed a lot of the toxins, when I have a sugary treat, I almost get like a hangover headache. If I had, like, say one night I went out with friends and maybe I had like a couple vegan desserts or something because that sweet tooth still wants them, but they're made with sugar, right? So I would wake up in the morning with a hangover and like cloudy, kind of foggy. I'd feel like I've got a little bit of congestion, and it just like it was so apparent what was going on. So now, anyway, on top of that, what I have is my Kangen water that came yesterday. I'm so excited. So what we've got here is all the different types of water that you can make and you can use. So because I just got it, I'm starting with the 8.5 and just drinking that level. But it's so nice. In here, this, if you're wondering why there's like a mason jar here, I've got it with the beauty water, which is really good for your skin and your hair. And so what I've been doing, or what I've done once, because I just got it yesterday, but as I'm filling up my drinking water, which I personally notice a taste from and a difference, and felt so much more energized already just drinking that. But on top of that, then I filled up this little mason jar of the beauty water over the course of the day yesterday. And what I did this morning when I had my shower was, at the end of the shower, I dumped the beauty water on my hair, on my face, and it was actually perfect. Cass, no. Cassie, stop it. There's people walking outside. She's a good guard dog. Okay, I poured that mason jar of beauty water at the end of my shower, so I turned the taps off and then dumped it over my head. And it was a double whammy, because one thing I talk about sometimes, and with my clients I share, is like using different biohacking tools and cold showers to disrupt your comfort and your thought patterns. So it was like I had this nice shower, and then to finish it off, I dumped all this cold water, and I just felt so great and so relieved and cleansed, and it was really exciting. So I wanted to share that with you because, as I said, this machine just came yesterday, so today is only like my first full day drinking the water and diving into all of this, but I'm going to be keeping y'all updated and sharing things over the course of the next however many days, just to show what changes for me. And I wanted to film this as kind of like a starter video so that you can see and watch and progress with me. If you have any questions about this and you want to know more, please comment down below or check the description box for my email. Shoot me an email, let's talk. I would love to share more, and I will share more on these videos as well. So I will keep y'all posted and we will go from there. But just as a takeaway, I just want to say that your body knows how to heal itself. Your body knows how to stay in an optimum state of health. But the thing is that with all of the factors going on externally, the foods we eat, the level of stress we have, just like the external environment as well as the internal environment, we are making it a lot harder for our body to do its normal job. And that's why we see so many diseases, because they are dis-ease in the body. And I've seen firsthand in my own experience the power of changing my food choices, as well as obviously mindset and spirituality and all the other things they talk about on here. But the foods that you put into your body are so, so important to look at if you're having a lot of physical issues. And what's so beautiful about this water is that as human beings, we are over 70% water. So if you can get your body right with the absolute best water possible, that is alkalinized, and it has the highest absorption rate for your cells, then you are taking care of that 70% of your body. How much better than if you were just doing everything you're normally doing right now? So the water really is such a huge piece, and why I'm so excited is because I've noticed huge changes to my health from going vegan and quitting sugar and really limiting gluten as well. I didn't mention that earlier. But limiting processed foods and just going plant-based and really natural, I've noticed huge changes. But I'm really excited for this missing piece of getting the water right too, so that then like my body's just gonna be 100% amazing and plant-based and healthy and vibrant, and I can just feel so good and have more dance parties. So it'll be really cool to share this with you as I continue. So I will chat with you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, please hit subscribe, and please feel free to share it with anyone you know who is currently struggling with different health issues, with energy, with acne, digestion, mood swings, anxiety, because all of these things are so important, and it really comes down to your body and the state of health that you're in. So please feel free to share, and I will see you on the next video. Bye guys.